At 79, Barry Gibb finally tells the truth about Robin Gibb. Barry Gibb was born Barry Allen Crompton Gibb on September 1, 1946, in Douglas, Isle of Man. As the eldest brother in the legendary Bee Gees, Barry's influence on the sound of modern pop, rock, and disco has been profound and lasting. From his early childhood surrounded by music to his later years as a respected elder statesman of songwriting and production, his journey has been defined by relentless creativity, resilience, and extraordinary achievement. His unmistakable falsetto and instinct for melody helped define an entire era, turning the Bee Gees into global superstars and leaving behind a musical legacy that continues to inspire new generations of artists. Raised in a musically inclined family, Barry's passion for music showed itself early. When the Gibb family moved to Manchester, he and his younger twin brothers, Robin Gibb and Maurice Gibb, began experimenting with harmonies and songwriting. In the late 1950s, the family relocated to Redcliffe, Queensland, a move that proved pivotal in shaping their musical future. There, Barry refined his songwriting skills and began performing publicly with his brothers under the name the Rattlesnakes, which later evolved into the Bee Gees, short for Brothers Gibb. Their early appearances on Australian television attracted the attention of key figures in the music industry, leading to their first recording contract. By the mid-1960s, Barry and his brothers returned to England, ready to take on the world. Their breakthrough arrived in 1967 with hits like To Love Somebody, Massachusetts, and New York Mining Disaster 1941. Barry's lyrical depth and distinctive voice quickly became defining elements of the group's sound. What truly set him apart was his ability to adapt. When musical tastes shifted in the 1970s, he led the Bee Gees through one of the most dramatic reinventions in pop history, transforming from a melodic pop group into pioneers of the disco era. Their contribution to the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack in 1977 catapulted them into global phenomenon status. With timeless hits like Stayin' Alive, Night Fever, and How Deep Is Your Love, Barry's songwriting brilliance dominated the charts. The soundtrack became one of the best-selling albums of all time, and Barry's name became synonymous with the golden age of disco. Despite occasional criticism for their association with the genre, his work during that period is now recognized as groundbreaking and deeply influential. Beyond his work with the Bee Gees, Barry proved himself an exceptional songwriter and producer for other artists. He wrote and produced hits for legends such as Barbra Streisand with Guilty and Woman in Love, Diana Ross with Chain Reaction, Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton with Islands in the Stream, and Celine Dion with Immortality. His ability to craft songs perfectly suited to each artist's voice highlighted his versatility and deep understanding of emotion in music. Few artists have sustained excellence across multiple decades the way Barry Gibb has. His life, however, was not without profound personal trials. The death of Maurice in 2003 and Robin in 2012 marked deeply painful chapters. Losing both his musical partners and lifelong friends left Barry openly grieving and facing deep loneliness. Yet he found strength in continuing to perform and preserve the Bee Gees' legacy. His solo work, including the album In the Now, revealed a more introspective side, reflecting on love, loss, and endurance. Over the course of his career, Barry received numerous honors. He was knighted by Queen Elizabeth II in 2018 for his services to music and charity, becoming Sir Barry Gibb. The Bee Gees were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1997, cementing their lasting impact on global music culture. On November 6, 2020, Barry announced his album Greenfields, a duets project featuring country artists including Dolly Parton, Little Big Town, and Alison Krauss. The album reimagined Bee Gees classics as country songs and included one previously unreleased Gibb track. Words of a Fool, featuring Jason Isbell, was released as a preview. It had originally been written by Barry in 1986 for an unreleased album. Barry's personal life has been as compelling as his career. He first married Maureen Bates in 1966, during the early days of the Bee Gees' rise. The marriage coincided with the group's move back to England and the mounting pressures of fame. The intense schedule and growing spotlight likely strained the relationship, and they divorced in 1970 after 4 years together. Barry has always spoken respectfully of that chapter, acknowledging it as part of his growth. Soon after, Barry met Linda Gray, a former Miss Edinburgh, who would become his lifelong partner. They married in 1970, and their love story has endured for more than 5 decades. Together they raised 5 children: Stephen, Ashley, Travis, Michael, and Alexandra. Linda stood beside Barry through the dizzying heights of disco superstardom and the devastating losses of his brothers. The couple has spent much of their married life in Miami, where their home became a sanctuary away from the pressures of fame. Barry has often credited Linda with keeping him grounded and helping him survive the darker sides of celebrity life. For decades, fans have been captivated by the music and brotherhood of Barry, Robin, and Maurice Gibb. Yet behind the fame, the relationship between Barry and Robin was layered with love, rivalry, admiration, and regret. Now at 79, Barry has opened up about the truth behind their bond. In interviews, he described Robin as mysterious and ethereal, a spirit unlike anyone else. Barry saw himself as the grounded leader, while Robin was the poetic dreamer. Their differences fueled both their music and their conflicts. He admitted that during the height of their fame, creative disagreements sometimes lasted for days. Yet he never doubted Robin's brilliance, especially the haunting voice that gave emotional depth to songs like "I Started a Joke." There were times when they did not speak, and Maurice often acted as peacemaker. Despite the tension, Barry insists that love was always there beneath the surface. Maurice's death in 2003 brought Barry and Robin closer for a time, forcing them to confront years of unspoken feelings. When Robin fell ill in 2012, Barry visited him in the hospital. He recalls Robin smiling weakly and saying, "We did it, didn't we, Baz?" That moment brought peace, a closing of the circle that began in their childhood on the Isle of Man. Since Robin's passing, Barry has carried the Bee Gees' legacy alone. He describes the loneliness of being the last surviving brother, sometimes imagining their harmonies beside him on stage. He has spoken about quiet nights in Miami, surrounded by photographs and memories, reflecting not on fame, but on brotherhood. He admits it took years to forgive himself for things left unsaid. If given the chance, he would tell Robin how proud he was of him. Today, when Barry performs songs like "To Love Somebody" or "How Deep Is Your Love," he feels his brothers with him. He insists the Bee Gees will always be 3. In sharing his truth, Barry Gibb has revealed not just a story of fame and music, but one of family, forgiveness, and enduring love. As he softly concluded, Robin was not just his brother, but his other half, and he will spend the rest of his life keeping his voice alive.